Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I'm guilty of that, I guess, if guilty is the correct word. Um, I remember when they remastered Diablo 2, and it was when all the stuff had happened with Blizzard, and
Yep.
people were giving me crap, and I was like, guys, I'm not supporting Blizzard. I'm playing a franchise that has been with me since before I knew what the hell Diablo was. You know, this isn't a
Yeah.
statement. This isn't a, and I think, but the other side of it is obviously if it was a game franchise that I didn't care about, then it would be easy for me to go, oh well, you've done this and you've done that, and maybe this will make people feel a little uncomfortable. But it's that thing: can you separate the artist to the art?
Right.
For me
I mean, in
personally, I can listen to Michael Jackson.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't bother me. Does that necessarily mean that I want to read a book on him or watch interviews or no? It was the guy was a genius. I'm sorry, that's just where I stand. The guy was a musical genius.
In the modern world, there is probably no corporation that's 100% clean, and
Oh yeah,
you have to find the line that you are willing to support or not support,
yeah,
and then just stick with that. And sometimes that means you're going to make decisions that you're going to be supporting someone you don't necessarily agree with their morals or whatever, but that's just sort of it. You have to find your own line and decide
yeah,
what your own line is. And plenty of people have no line. Plenty of people are like, I don't care.
yeah.
I don't care what the real life situation is. I just want the games, and that's valid.
That's yeah.
Um, I don't necessarily agree with it, but it is valid. And
Mhm.
if that's the choice you want to make, then that's the choice you want to make, and that's fine. The problem becomes when you try to force your view on anyone else, which is why I said before, I don't
Yes.
really care if you boycott or and not necessarily. I don't care if you boycott or not boycott Ubisoft.
Yeah.
It makes no difference to me. It doesn't affect me one way or another. But I've made my choice, and Activision Blizzard, actually, since you mentioned that, like, I do boycott them as well for the reason.
Yes.
I don't care about. I mean, and it is easier for me because I don't care about Diablo. I don't care about World of
Right.
Warcraft. I really don't care about any of their games.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is an easier argument for me. And if
Of course.
if Nintendo was the one that was doing really bad behavior, I'm not sure I would be able to stick with a boycott against Nintendo. But
Right.
like I said, you draw your lines and you just do your best. But what does help me is my very minority view that video games are not important, and if I need other entertainment, I can get other entertainment. It doesn't matter. Like none of this little stuff matters. What matters is family and politics and human rights and the planet being on fire. Like that's the really really important stuff we should be worrying about. The rest of this stuff is just noise and distraction.
Yeah. I
But
mean.
that makes for a really that like I said, that puts me in a very slim minority, especially since I have a gaming channel.
I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. Yeah. No. At the end of the day, does it really friggin' matter? It does matter, but it really doesn't at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, not to try to bring down the mood, but I'm going to quote one of my viewers who left a comment about a thing. To paraphrase them, there's nothing like having your friends and family die around you constantly that kind of reminds you what is and is not important in life. And
Yes.
that's just going to happen as you get older. Like that's
Yeah.
not even I personally have not suffered any massive disasters. But
Right.
I'm older. I'm going to be 40 this year, and so I have seen
Yeah.
friends and family and whoever else just suffer health problems and die just because that's life. And
Yeah.
it has reminded me that video games aren't important. Life is important. People are important. So it's changed my philosophy a bit on, you know, what I expect out of corporations and stuff, because it wasn't that many years ago when I would be hyped and when I read every day about gaming news, knew when everything was coming out, and was super excited all the time. And it's not, again, I'm not judging. That's fine. That's perfectly valid if that's where your priorities are at, and that's okay. But
we've all been there.
Changed, so.
Yeah. So let's kind of end this. I think this is going to be like a 3-parter, guys, and I'll just kind of upload it all together. Like I said, the edits probably aren't going to be best. Just go with it, guys. I'm drained most days, but I really wanted to do something for you guys. But let's kind of lighten it up a tad, if I may. Where do you think it's going? Because everyone's saying the VR thing, right? But the VR thing isn't the new thing because it's here, if that makes sense, right? The new thing we don't know about. So if we may, let's kind of theorize, I guess, on where do you think it's going? Because to me,
where do I think what is going?
Just for example, consoles or computers, or because to me, it's weird. In my head, it's all building up to this ultimate one packaged thing, and I know everybody's gonna say, "Ah, well, that's impossible. And it's like, hang on, a company somewhere is eventually going to give in and go, let's just all band together. We're going to get more profit. And the ones that don't band together, they're going to be left out of it. And the thing they create is going to blow everything else out of the market. I think we're going to get this. I'm not saying next year or 5 years or 10 years or anything like that. But I think we're going to get this weird console, computer, VR hybrid thing and I think that's where we're going. Because I can't see it going anywhere else.
I think that's valid. I definitely wouldn't put a year on it either.
Yeah.
But as far as a computer, console, VR, whatever, hybrid, I do think that's probably where things are going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, technology is led by other technology, right? So
yeah,
Facebook
of course.
or Meta is desperate to make this metaverse thing happen.
Oh, Jesus.
And if they do, if they somehow manage to make virtual reality a mainstream thing, then consoles will have to adjust and do that as well.
They've already done that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I can completely see a console coming out that says something like, we have the best, or we have an integrated feature where you can get on the metaverse very quickly and easily, or some garbage.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll happen at some point. I mean, they were even actually before the last generation, they were thinking that the PS4 era was going to be the final consoles because computers and consoles would somehow become hybrid and whatever. I don't think that will ever happen completely because I think there are too many greedy companies. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they all want a piece. Google wanted a piece. They made Google Stadia. No one plays it, but I mean, that doesn't mean it didn't exist. There are just going to be too many companies that want to do this kind of thing. And again, because technology keeps aping technology, I can foresee a future. I'm not saying this will happen or even have odds, but I can foresee a future where Google specifically wants to try to compete with Meta. Because remember, they had Google Plus for a while. They were going to be the Facebook competitor. And yes, it failed, but that's one product. I can easily see Google seeing VR, thinking that they're going to make an alternative, and then creating their own console that helps with their own brand of whatever Facebook becomes. And, my point is there's just too many greedy people and too many greedy companies that are all trying to compete with each other and make a certain product to the point where I don't think there's ever going to be one all-in-one solution to the universe. And maybe that's for the best. I mean, that's what capitalism is supposed to be all about, competition. But, I mean, I don't know. Unfortunately, that kind of thing isn't really in my wheelhouse, so I can only at best guess as a casual observer rather than any sort of expert opinion.
Well, I mean, green makes the world go round, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think because this is something that I've been thinking about, and I've been really surprised by this. As far as I can tell, or as far as I know, there's only three companies in the console wars, right? If you want to use that bloody word, if you are so entitled. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. I think we're gonna get a fourth. I don't think anyone anywhere looking who, has the know-how, has the capital, obviously, that shit, let's just presume they have all that. I think we're gonna see a brand new game console. Brand new game company. Because that's basically what happened with Microsoft. Sony was like, yeah, we've got this. And Xbox came out and they went, oh no, we've got to step up.
Yep. And Steam is pushing. I mean, with Steam Deck, Steam is Valve is arguably trying to get in there. And, the world changes, not to sound too poetic, but I mean, when I was growing up, it was just Nintendo and Sega. And then Sega stopped existing, and Sony came along, and then Microsoft came along, and Atari was in the conversation for a hot minute when I was growing up. So, I mean, the world changes, people change, companies change, something will happen. All we can do is just, keep our eyes on the news and, again, just make the best purchasing decisions we can if any competitors get added.
Is there anything that you're kind of looking forward to now? I mean, this is kind of the position I'm in now, that, as I said, there doesn't seem to be anything new. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I was so happy to get a computer, because I was like, oh, I can play all these old games. Like, I can go back, or I can do modded stuff, or I can... And guys, don't start asking me about modded series, because like I said, games are kind of a way off at the moment because of everything going on. But is there anything out there that's... I know you said kind of hype you don't believe in, but is there anything that's kind of... You're going, ooh, okay, that's... that's making the spidey sense tingle.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's... if you had asked me even 5 years ago, probably, I would have been super hyped over the PlayStation 5, which we still...
Okay.
Yeah, no, but... I mean, if anything hypes me, it's the generality of the industry, that it's becoming more accessible, and it's becoming... again, the indies are a very strong section of the industry. There's some really interesting ideas coming out. But as far as, a specific project, no, not really. But I also don't pay attention to very many.
Okay.
I mean, I can talk all day about games that have come out recently that I really like, games like Tunic, but it's because it's because of the good ideas that are in the indie space, just people who are willing to take chances and do different things with games. And, I'm curious to see where the industry goes, but if a specific project, not really. I'll care when it comes out. Whatever it may be, I'll care when it comes out. And it gets some decent, the reviews tell me they're it is interesting and different, then I will care.
Oh dear. I. uh, well,
I don't know. I've become really cynical as I've gotten older, but
Oh no, I'm with you. No, I'm with you with that. I mean, I remember when, funny enough, gameplay, walkthroughs, playlists, they used to be the reviews, but apart from a few people on the internet, I can't even trust them now. Even as I'm watching them play, and I'm going, well, that's a bad thing. Why aren't you mentioning that? And I'm not talking about the lockdown. Okay, I understand some people have obligations, and I'm not downing them if they do have those obligations. They've done them for whatever reason. Financially, they love the franchise. They want a new avenue. I don't want to get into that because that is their own personal business. But again, you can't even. It seems you can't even trust. And again, a random person on the internet, which that's what it is. Let's face it.
well, the counter to that is to be a good consumer. I mean, there aren't very
Yeah.
many good consumers anymore. I mean, you have to know when to be able to take an opinion or even a fact and disregard it.
Yeah.
One example is there is a game recently that I've been playing thanks to Game Pass where most of the negative reviews stem from the fact that the highest resolution the game can get to is 1080p. And so there's this, there's a bunch of reviewers, just random people who one-star the game and are like, this can't take advantage of 4K, I'm immediately disinterested. Like, alright, well...
So because they haven't...
It's fine if that's that person's opinion, but, like, I can disregard it, because I don't give a shit. So, to be a good consumer means to do a little bit of research on your own, and also to know what is and is not important to you, and figure out your purchasing decisions from there.
So because they haven't, bothered to actually understand, hey, we're trying to do this, it's just, no, it looks rubbish, rah, 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 rah. And
that is another part of it. A lot of amateur reviews, and I'm saying, YouTubers especially, it's very easy to be very binary when it comes to reviews. This sucks or this is amazing. There's very little fine. And that's what I've tried to do with my channel as well, where there have been games I've played that I have only felt like, it's fine. It's easier with a stream, because then it's a stream of consciousness, no pun intended, of your thoughts on the game. But for an actual review, for non-critics, it's way too easy to fall into that trap of, this is the scariest game ever, or this is the worst game ever. That shit is more hype and is to get clicks, and it's the modern version of clickbait. And as a consumer, you have to know how to filter that out and just calmly, that's the key word, calmly look at what you want out of a game and decide whether it's worth the purchase. And no opinion is invalid, I don't think. For example, I have a very good friend who tends to look at games from an accessibility and minority point of view. So if the game stars a white cis male, then she immediately disregards it or ranks it down. And I get it, but at
it's
the same
opinion
time,
based.
I personally don't care. So whether it stars a white cis male or a POC woman or a robot, I don't care. I got the So if the gameplay is good, then I'll be interested. If the gameplay is not, then I won't. And that's neither valid or invalid, but it lets me filter out certain opinions that just are not a factor for me. And that is what, in my opinion, consumers should do. You should be able to decide, what is and is not important to you, and then make your decision from there about what you're buying and what you're not buying.
Yeah, completely. But guys, we are going to wrap it up here. This has been a lot of fun. For people who don't know, I don't script anything. I don't think Pyro. Well, I'm pretty sure watching your content.
Takes work, man.
Yeah, it takes effort. It takes adulting, guys. We're trying to get away from adulting. No, it's been a lot of fun. You know, maybe you guys will take this as some serious advice. Maybe you guys will just take this as, you know, we just chilled out and hopefully did a really cool video. Who knows? But guys, if you want Pyro to come back, please go to his channel, show him some love. He is very busy. Do not pester him. I will be watching, and I will virtually bitch slap the lot of you. So don't pester him.
I'm able to still read all of my comments. So if there are any comments regarding anything, I will at least see it. And,
yes.
Of course,
yes.
If Neo asks for me to chat, I will be more than happy to chat.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions of topics, because I'm gonna try and get kind of a random bunch of people, and you know, not every video. People are busy, guys. Like, you don't understand. I was very lucky. Pyro was actually free, but usually Pyro is a very busy little bee, and it wouldn't have been as easy for the both of us with free time and stuff. Sir, you can have final thoughts any way you want.
I just, you know, like I said, after, you know, alright, a month ago from when we're recording this, I did have a bit of a family scare, and that is what led me to kind of reevaluate my life. So, you know, just remember, like, all of our entertainment, all of our, hobbies and everything, as great as they are and as much as they may, as much as you may love them and be passionate about them, they do not define you. Just try to always remember what's important in life, and just try to be safe and healthy, guys, because life's too short to get your blood pressure too high over video games or any media or anything like that. Just be good to each other. Life's too short not to be good to each other.
Same boat as Pyro there. I've spoken about that enough on my channel, and I don't feel like getting into it. But guys, what I do feel like getting into, go to the description. Hey, I actually made that work. I'm pretty proud of myself. Into the description, go show Pyro some love. And yeah, please go check out what he's doing. You know, even if you don't like what he's doing right now, check out his older stuff, because it's still really cool, it's still really fun. But please go check him out, show him some love, and like I said, I'll definitely try and get Pyro back here on the channel, because I love speaking to him, I love the company. So yeah, guys.
And this was a lot of fun. I'm more than happy to come back.
Thank you, sir. There we go. We shall have Pyro back on the channel again. We're going to get the hell out of here, and we'll catch you guys whenever our next videos are. Bye-bye for now.